What if I told you every major country on earth is drowning in debt? The United States owes over $38 trillion. Europe owes trillions. Japan, China, even oil-rich nations. But here's the terrifying question. If everybody owes money, who exactly is owed? Because logically, someone must be the creditor. And once you start following the money, you discover something disturbing. The world economy may be built on promises that can never truly be repaid. How did humanity build an economy where debt became normal? Before credit cards, before Wall Street, before digital banking, modern debt was born in war. In 1694, England was fighting France and running out of money. The crown needed gold. Fast. So the government turned to wealthy merchants. In exchange for future interest payments funded by taxes, those merchants financed the state. And from that deal, the Bank of England was born. For the first time in history, a government discovered something revolutionary. It could spend money it didn't actually have. That moment changed civilization forever. Because governments no longer needed treasure to wage war. They only needed confidence. Who actually owns all this debt? Fast forward to today. Global debt has exploded beyond $315 trillion, nearly 3 times the size of the entire global economy. And yet, the strange reality is this. Most countries are not simply indebted to foreigners. They are indebted to themselves. Take the United States. People often say America owes China. But that's only partially true. Most U.S. debt is actually owned by American banks, pension funds, insurance companies, investment funds, and even the Federal Reserve itself. In other words, Americans pay taxes, which fund interest payments, which flow back into American financial institutions. It's a giant circular system, a mirror economy. Where does all this money actually come from? Most people imagine central banks as institutions that simply manage money. But modern central banks do something much bigger. They create debt-based money itself. Every time the Federal Reserve buys government bonds, it creates new money in exchange. Debt becomes currency. That means every dollar, every euro, every digital balance already exists because somebody somewhere owes something. There is no such thing as debt-free money. The modern economy runs entirely on I owe us. But what happens when people stop believing? We've already seen the answer. In Greece during 2010, debt spiraled out of control. Investors panicked. Interest rates exploded. The economy collapsed. Then came austerity, spending cuts, unemployment, protests, social unrest. In Argentina, debt became a repeating national disaster. In Sri Lanka, economic collapse led to fuel shortages and political chaos. And suddenly, the invisible creditors became visible. The IMF, bond markets, rating agencies, global finance. What if governments never intended to fully repay their debt? This may sound unbelievable, but modern sovereign debt is not designed to disappear. It is designed to roll forever. Governments issue new debt to pay old debt. Economists call this refinancing. The system survives not through repayment, but through confidence. That's why the United States will likely never pay off its national debt. Japan has rolled over debt for decades, and yet investors continue buying government bonds. Why? Because government debt became the safest asset in global finance. Pension funds need it. Banks depend on it. Markets are built on it. Ironically, if governments actually paid off all debt, the modern financial system could collapse. If the system depends on debt, who truly wins? because debt does not affect everyone equally. Interest payments flow upward, from workers to financial institutions, from taxpayers to asset holders. That's why rising debt and rising inequality often happen together. The system rewards those who own debt, not those who simply work to repay it, and eventually, the entire world becomes trapped inside the same machine, a machine powered by belief. The modern financial system turned debt into money. Governments issue it, banks multiply it, investors trade it, citizens depend on it. The line between debtor and creditor has almost disappeared. And maybe that's the most dangerous part of all, because the system survives on one thing: belief. As long as people trust the system, the machine keeps moving. But if confidence ever breaks, the illusion ends, and humanity may rediscover what debt truly is: a promise that cannot be kept forever. If you want to understand how money, power, and history shape the modern world, subscribe to Empire and Economy, because history has already seen this before, and the next crisis may already be forming.